Welcome to Famora. Don't forget to subscribe for more shocking family drama and jaw-dropping stories. I remember the first time I realized Liam was the person I could always count on. "Promise me something," I said, tugging his sleeve one rainy afternoon. "Promise me we'll always have each other's backs. No matter what," he smirked, tossing his wet hair out of his eyes. "Always, Ellie. You know that." I smiled, feeling the warmth of certainty I rarely felt anywhere else. Our family didn't have much. Mom worked 2 jobs, Dad's back pain kept him from steady work. But Liam and I had each other. We shared secrets, late-night whispers, even stolen chocolates from the corner store when no one was looking. "Remember that time we tried to fix the old bike in the shed?" I asked. Liam laughed, eyes sparkling. "How could I forget? We ended up covered in grease and Mom yelled at us for hours. Worth it, though." I laughed, too, even though the memory stung with nostalgia. Life had been hard. Bills piled up, Dad's wages weren't enough, and sometimes I had to skip lunch to make sure Liam got his favorite snack. But I admired him. He had this charm, this way of making our tiny world feel big and safe. Even when he started talking about investments and money, I thought, okay, maybe he's just ambitious. "Ellie," he said one evening, leaning closer across the kitchen table. "I need a favor." I frowned. "What kind of favor?" He hesitated, biting his lip. "It's about the inheritance. Just a small part. I promise it'll help both of us." My stomach twisted. "Inheritance?" I echoed. "But we barely know what's there." He reached out, touching my hand lightly. "Trust me. I've got a plan. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important." I studied him, trying to read the sincerity in his eyes. I wanted to believe him, like always. "Okay," I whispered finally. "Okay, I'll help. But you better not mess this up, Liam." He grinned, that familiar, infuriating grin. "I won't, you'll see. This is our chance, Ellie. I promise." And just like that, a seed was planted. A seed I didn't know would grow into a storm. "I really need this, Ellie," Liam said, pacing the small living room. "It's urgent. If I don't act now, the opportunity's gone." I folded my arms, biting my lip. "How urgent are we talking?" "Tomorrow urgent," he said, eyes wide. I need a little help from you. Just a loan. You'll get it back. With interest." "I promise." I hesitated, glancing at the worn kitchen table where Mom's bill sat, unpaid. "I don't know, Liam. Money's tight." He leaned closer, voice softening. "I get it. I really do. But I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. This could change everything for us." I sighed. "All right. I'll do it. But you have to tell me exactly where it's going." "No lies this time." He grinned like he always did when he knew I'd cave. "I wouldn't dream of lying to you, Ellie. Just trust me." The next day, I handed him the cash. "Be careful," I said. "I will," he promised, slipping the bills into his jacket. "You'll see, Ellie. This will work." Later that week, I met my friend Sarah for coffee. "You look worried," she said, frowning. I loaned Liam some money," I admitted. "For an investment." "He said it's urgent." Sarah's eyes narrowed. "Ellie, are you sure that's a good idea?" "He's charming, but he's been reckless before." "This sounds risky." "I trust him," I replied quickly. "He'd never betray me." She shook her head. "Sometimes the people we trust most are the ones who hurt us first. Just keep your eyes open, okay?" I nodded, though I tried to push her warning aside. But even as I left the cafe, a knot of unease formed in my stomach. Liam's story didn't quite add up. He said the investment was low risk, but he avoided details. He was always in a rush, always slightly evasive. I tried to brush it off. He was my brother. I knew him better than anyone, still. The seed of doubt was there. A small, nagging feeling that something wasn't right. And deep down, I knew this favor, this loan. It might be the first step toward something I wasn't ready to face yet. I should have known something was wrong when I checked my account. The balance was gone. Every last cent I had set aside vanished. My chest tightened and my hands shook as I dialed Liam's number. "Liam, where's the money?" I demanded the second he picked up. There was a pause. Then, in that infuriatingly casual tone, he said, "What money?" I froze. Don't play games with me. The loan. The money I gave you for the investment. Oh, that, he chuckled. Yeah, I used it. Needed it for something else? My mouth went dry. What do you mean, something else? That was supposed to help both of us. I know, he said, waving his hand like it was nothing. But it was more urgent than I thought. You'll understand someday. Understand? Liam, I trusted you. My voice cracked, and I felt a hot sting in my chest. I trusted you with everything, and you just took it. Relax, Ellie, you're overreacting, he said, smirking. It's just money. You'll get more. Calm down. I slammed my hand on the counter, feeling humiliation burn through me. It's not just money. It's trust. Do you even know what you've done? He shrugged. Maybe, but you always worry too much. I'm fine. We're fine. Stop being dramatic. I couldn't breathe. Everything I had built, every careful plan, every little sacrifice, it all felt meaningless. I replayed every word, every promise, every "I won't let anything happen to you" he'd ever said. Every one of them a lie. You're unbelievable, I whispered, voice shaking. I don't even know who you are anymore. Liam laughed softly, leaning back like he hadn't just shattered my world. You'll get over it. You always do. Over it? Over it? I clenched my fists so hard my nails dug into my palms. How could he treat me like this? How could he betray me and act like it was nothing? I sank onto the couch, heart pounding, tears blurring my vision. I felt so small, so helpless, so utterly humiliated. Rage and heartbreak collided inside me, a storm I couldn't control. And yet, somewhere beneath the hurt, a seed of determination sprouted. I wouldn't let anyone break me completely. Not now, not ever. I would make sure of that. I stared at the stack of unpaid bills and took a deep breath. Okay, Ellie, I muttered to myself. Time to fix this. The next morning I called Sarah. I need your help, I said, forcing calm into my voice. I can't just sit here and do nothing. What happened now? She asked, concern cutting through her tone. Liam. He took the money I gave him. I'm broke and I can't rely on anyone else. I need a plan, a real one, Sarah paused. Ellie, you've got this. You're stronger than you think. Let's start with the job applications, one step at a time. Her confidence was contagious. I started sending out resumes, making calls, even volunteering some hours at the local store. Look at this, I told Sarah one evening, showing her an email invitation for an interview. A small victory, but it feels huge. See? She said, grinning. Progress, Ellie, one step. But Liam, he acted like nothing had happened. He came home, laughed at a joke, and said, Hey, Ellie, want to grab dinner? You've been so serious lately, I forced a smile. Sure, Liam. Inside, my jaw clenched. How could he be so casual while my life was in chaos? That night, I sat on my bed, phone in hand, weighing my options. Confront him? Make a scene? Or quietly rebuild my life while he crumbles under his arrogance? I thought about everything he'd said, every lie, every smirk. And I realized something. I didn't need to prove anything to him. I just needed to take control of my own life. I can't let him win, I whispered, voice steady. Not this time. The following week, I got a call. Ellie, can you come in for an interview? The manager asked. We'd like to meet you tomorrow. I hung up and pumped my fist. Finally, I said to myself, finally, some good news. And just like that, tiny steps became my lifeline. I felt anger still, yes, but also determination. Liam's betrayal hurt, but it wouldn't define me. I was done being his victim. I would rebuild, piece by piece, and when the time came, I'd decide whether to confront him or let him fall on his own. I heard it first from a neighbor, Mrs. Patel, who always had an ear for gossip. Your brother. He's been missing deadlines at work, she said, lowering her voice. Clients are starting to complain. I forced a neutral smile. Really, that's surprising. Surprising? Ellie, you know him, she said. He acts confident, but I've heard whispers. Things aren't going well. Later, I called Sarah. It's happening, I said quietly. Liam's finally running into trouble. What do you mean? she asked. Small things, I explained. Missed meetings, angry partners, contracts falling through. He's arrogant, and now the cracks are showing. I watched him at home that evening, pretending to read a book while listening. Liam was on the phone, his voice clipped. I said it would be delivered yesterday. What do you mean it's late? I smirked silently. Karma, it seemed, had a slow but steady pace. The next day I made a decision. I started keeping notes, dates, missed promises, emails, anything that proved his recklessness. Not out of spite, not yet. But I wanted to be prepared. If I needed to, I could show the truth to the people who mattered. That evening, Liam flopped onto the couch. Ellie? Why are you always staring at me like I'm some kind of criminal? He asked with a laugh. I didn't answer. I just smiled faintly, letting the silence stretch. You've been quiet all week. What's going on? Just thinking, I said softly. About consequences. He rolled his eyes. Oh, please. You worry too much. Life's not that serious. I didn't say a word. I had realized something crucial. I didn't need to chase him or prove myself to him. I only needed to wait, document, and prepare. The failures, the arrogance, they were all adding up, and I would be ready when the tipping point came. Later, alone in my room, I stared at the contract Liam had signed last month, now overdue. My fingers traced the lines, the paper crisp with irony. A broken promise, a failing deal, it was a symbol of his unraveling. I whispered to myself, voice barely audible, soon, Liam, soon. Everything will come full circle. I walked into the living room, folder in hand, my chest tight but steady. Liam looked up from his phone, grinning. Hey, Ellie, what's with the serious face? I didn't answer. I set the folder down on the table and opened it. Explain this, I said, voice calm but sharp, sliding a stack of contracts, emails, and receipts toward him. He glanced at them, eyes narrowing. What's this? All of it, I said. The money you took, the lies, the broken deals, everything. Care to explain why my trust meant so little to you? He leaned back, smirking. Ellie, come on. You're blowing this way out of proportion. It was a mistake, sure, but it's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world, I echoed, voice rising. Do you even hear yourself? I trusted you with my life, Liam, and you used it for whatever selfish reason you wanted. He laughed, that infuriating grin tugging at his lips. Selfish, please? You're dramatic. I did what I had to do. You'd understand if you weren't so naive. I felt a surge of anger, but I didn't lash out. Instead, I leaned forward, keeping my voice steady. I'm not naive. I just believed in you, but that belief ends here. I'm done being manipulated, done being the one who always forgives. His smirk faltered, just slightly. Ellie, don't act like you're in charge. You're still my sister. You can't just— Yes, I can, I interrupted. Because I've learned that trust isn't just given. It's earned. And you've burned it. Every single time. He froze, eyes flicking nervously over the evidence I'd collected. I could see the arrogance cracking just a little. The confident mask he always wore was slipping. I didn't think you'd actually— compile all this, he stammered. I did, I said firmly. And now you know something I should have realized long ago. I'm not helpless. I'm not someone you can control anymore. He swallowed hard, silence filling the room. I felt a strange satisfaction, a quiet power. I wasn't yelling, I wasn't pleading, I was simply standing there, unshaken. And for the first time, Liam couldn't laugh it off. He couldn't charm his way out of it. I took a step back, folding my arms. This ends now, Liam. And from here on, I decide what happens next. I got the text while I was at work. Meeting canceled. Partners pulling out. Liam's deal fell through. My chest tightened, but not with panic. Instead, there was a strange satisfaction, quiet but undeniable. Later that evening, I overheard a call he was making in the kitchen. What do you mean the client backed out? This can't happen now. Mr. Collins said your terms aren't acceptable, a voice replied sternly. We're done. I leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. He didn't see me. His confident tone faltered, and I felt a flicker of relief, Karma, finally. The next morning, Sarah called. Ellie, you're glowing. What's going on? I handled a problem at work, I said, smiling. Small victory, but it feels big. Liam's... Well, he's busy facing the consequences of his own arrogance. She laughed. You sound like you're savoring it. Maybe a little, I admitted. But it's not about revenge. It's about balance. And I'm finally reclaiming my life. At home, Liam slammed the door behind him. Ellie, did you talk to Mom, Dad? They're asking why I lost that contract. I looked up from my laptop, calm. I didn't say a word. Maybe you should explain it yourself, he scowled. Explain it? They'll never understand. Everyone's on my case now. Partners, friends. Even some of your friends think I messed up big time. I leaned back in my chair. Seems like honesty and consistency matter more than charm and excuses, doesn't it? His eyes narrowed. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I'm observing, I said lightly, though inside satisfaction thrummed like a quiet drum. And learning. And making sure I don't get dragged into your chaos again. He shook his head, voice cracking slightly. I can fix this. I just need another chance. I hope you figure it out, Liam, I said. But I won't be your safety net anymore. I spent the next week quietly reclaiming my stability. Interviews went well. I finally booked a small apartment for myself, my own space, my own rules. I sent a few of my savings into a separate account Liam couldn't touch. Each small triumph reminded me that I didn't need him to survive, let alone thrive. Meanwhile, news trickled back of his professional embarrassment, whispered among family, colleagues, and neighbors. The humiliation mirrored what I had felt when he betrayed me, but this time I watched silently. I didn't gloat. I didn't mock. I simply felt the balance restoring itself, and for the first time, I understood that strength didn't come from anger alone. It came from patience, strategy, and refusing to be broken. Liam's downfall was real, but so was my rise, and I intended to stay firmly on top. I stared at the folder of evidence one last time, taking a deep breath. It had been months since Liam's betrayal, months of rebuilding, learning, and quietly watching him falter. I asked myself again and again, revenge, forgiveness, or just moving on? When he walked in, I didn't rise from the chair. Liam, I said, voice calm, we need to talk. He smirked, trying to mask unease. Oh, about what? I slid the folder across the table. About everything. The money, the lies, the chaos you caused. He laughed nervously. Ellie, come on. That's all in the past. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Nothing, I echoed, voice steady. You used me, and now you're asking me to forget it? Like it never happened? He shifted, eyes darting to the folder. I didn't think you'd still be keeping track. I keep track of my life, I said firmly, and of anyone who threatens it. I'm done being manipulated, done being hurt. He swallowed hard. So, what now? I leaned back, folding my arms. Now you take responsibility for your actions. I've already reclaimed what's mine. The money, my dignity, my life. That's done. His lips pressed into a thin line. You're stronger than I expected. I had to be, I said. Not for you, Liam, for me. I survived, I grew, I learned, and I won't let anyone, especially not you, hold me back again. He looked down, silence stretching between us. I felt no triumph, no malice, just calm, unshakable clarity. I picked up the folder, standing. Consider this closure. I'm moving forward. You need to do the same in your own way. He nodded, small and humbled. I understand. I walked toward the door, stopping for a moment. Goodbye, Liam, and remember, I didn't need to finish. The look in my eyes said it all. As I stepped outside, the sunlight felt different. Warmer, brighter, freer. I let the door close behind me, the click echoing like a cymbal. The past locked away, the future fully mine. I smiled to myself, feeling lighter than I had in months. Life was waiting, and this time, I was in control. I ran my fingers over the keys of my laptop, feeling a sense of calm I hadn't known in months. Work was steady, bills were paid, and for the first time I felt fully in control of my life. Sarah leaned back in the chair across from me. "Look at you, Ellie. You've come a long way." I smiled, sipping my coffee. "I've had to. Losing trust in someone you love, it changes you. But it also teaches you who you really are," she nodded. "And you've proven you can survive, thrive even." I never thought I'd feel this. "Free," I said, glancing around my small apartment. Everything here was mine, my decisions, my space, my life. Even the little potted plant on the windowsill felt symbolic. Growth, care, resilience. Just then, my phone buzzed. A text from Liam. "Ellie, I'm sorry. I realize now what I lost. I hope you're okay." I stared at it for a moment, then typed a short reply. "I'm okay. Take care of yourself." I didn't need his validation, his forgiveness, or his approval. I was already whole. Later, I met a few friends for dinner. Laughter filled the air, warm and easy, no tension, no secrets. "You're glowing," Sarah said again, nudging me. "I feel it," I replied. Every step, every challenge, it led me here. After dinner, I walked home alone, letting the cool night air wrap around me. I paused by the little park near my apartment and noticed the swings swaying gently in the breeze. A memory flashed. Liam and I on these swings as kids, dreaming of the future. Back then, I trusted him blindly. Now I trusted myself. I sat on the bench, breathing deeply, feeling the weight of the past lift. My mistakes, my heartbreak, my anger, they were all part of the journey. I had survived, and I had grown stronger because of it. "I did this," I whispered to the night, a quiet smile spreading across my face. I rebuilt myself, and no one, no betrayal, no lie, can take that away. I stood, brushing off my jeans, and walked home, carrying that sense of empowerment with me. The past belonged to him. The future belonged to me. And for the first time, I felt completely free. Do you believe karma always finds a way, or do we have to create our own justice? Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more family drama stories. See you in the next video.